Good morning. My name is Jason. I am the founder of Distress Loan Advisors. I help people with SBA related issues, specifically offer in compromise if you've got a 7A loan, express loan, 504 loan. And if you have an EIDL loan, I offer case evaluations on that. As of the recording of this video, unfortunately, EIDL is not eligible for offer in compromise. But you can schedule a consultation right through my website. You can chat about anything you want. Today, I want to start by telling you about an email I got yesterday and talking about being penny wise and pound foolish when it comes to dealing with SBA default. So yesterday I got an email from this guy. It says, "Dear Jason, I attempted to settle my SBA loan by myself. I submitted an offer in compromise. My lender declined it, and now they're going to try to foreclose on my house. I can't afford to pay you your fee, but I was wondering what I should do next." And, I do get these emails, I would say once a month. And, the thing about it is, as a business owner, if you're coming to me asking me for advice, this is my business, right? And so much of the way that, all you guys have your own businesses, if you're selling pizzas, you're fixing cars, you're providing some other service, I guess what I'm getting at here is, well, no, I don't work for free. And just like in your business, you didn't work for free. But I do want to sort of more talk about this general attitude, and I don't see it a lot, or I don't hear it a lot. I'm sure there's plenty of people who watch this video who are going to watch it, and I'll never hear from you, and you'll say, or some people will be like, let me look at his website and see what this is all about, and then you'll look at my fees, and you go, oh, forget it, I would never hire that guy. And then there's the people who do hire me who say, Jason, I think it's worth it. I watched your videos. You seem very knowledgeable. There's not a lot of information out there. And, I love those people. They're, hold on one second. So I love those people. Those are my customers. They look at my website. They look at all the blog articles. They listen to the podcast. They watch these videos. I mean, there's a million different ways for people to find me. And they say, you know what? This guy looks legit. I want to hire. But about once a month, I get emails like from this guy, which essentially says, I tried it myself. It didn't work, but I don't want it. Essentially, I don't think the service that you're offering is worth what you're asking. And, to that, I have to say, and this guy is saying they're going to foreclose on my house. And so, to me, it's penny wise and pound foolish. So in other words, if you have a problem that you can't solve yourself, of course, the natural thing to do is find an expert, right? And I'm not saying you have to hire me. If you want to hire someone else to handle your SBA, God bless, whatever. But I'm just talking about in general. If I'm renovating my kitchen, if I'm fixing my car, try to do it myself and I screw it up, the guy's going to walk in and be like, what'd you do here? And a lot of times they don't even want to touch it, because when you've attempted it and screwed it up yourself, it's even harder to fix than if you didn't try it at all. And so, this guy is essentially saying to me, I screwed this up. I want help fixing it, but I don't want to pay you. And so, to him, I say, well, what's your alternative here, man? If they're foreclosing on your house, I don't understand why you're so hesitant to hire a professional. And part of the email said, well, I don't want to pay that fee with no guarantee. Anybody who's ever hired a lawyer, for like some sort of trial, right? Like the attorney doesn't, there are attorneys who work on contingency. I get that. But most attorneys don't, right? Most attorneys say you need a defense attorney. It's this amount of dollars per hour, or, I'll take this amount of dollars in total. But what the attorney doesn't say is, well, I'll only get paid if you're found innocent, and if you're guilty, then you don't pay me. Like, it's just, and so that's how I operate. I do charge something up front. And the reason I do, by the way, is back when I started this around 2009, in order to get clients, I said nothing up front, only you only pay me if you successfully settle. And what do you think happened? I got people to sign up and they were so not invested in the process. So, in other words, they wouldn't even give me the information I needed to do my job because they had nothing to lose. And so, in that respect, me charging something up front does two things. One, it compensates me for the time that I'm spending on it. I'm an expert. There's only a handful of people who do what I do. So yes, there's value in that. But two, the second reason, as I alluded to, is if you're going to pay me some money up front, you're now invested in seeing this through to a conclusion, because no one wants to pay me and then not give me the information I need to do my job, because now you've wasted your money. So all this is to say, when you're looking at dealing with SBA default, I know there's people who try to do it on their own. I get it. I'm the type of guy who, I hem and haw about paying people to do things, but there comes a time where you have to recognize the risk that you're taking by not bringing in a professional. So in other words, if I'm going to try to replace the transmission in my car, I run the risk of breaking down or maybe creating some sort of safety risk. If I'm going to, do some plumbing in my house, I run the risk of flooding my house. So you really need to weigh the risk of failure against the cost of paying the professional, right? So in this guy's case, the risk of failure is he loses his house. And yet somehow in his mind, it's not worth it to pay a professional. So I'll probably never hear from that guy again, and that's fine. Probably what he'll do is he'll probably hire an attorney who charges per hour. That attorney won't know anything about SBA, and, maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't. But, if I'm in that guy's situation and I'm looking at losing my house, is that the bet you want to make? I mean, really, is like, out of all the specialists to hire in the world, is that the bet you're going to make? Because if you lose, your house is gone. And by the way, I never guarantee I can get anything done. All I can tell you is I've seen a lot of these, and I can give you a good idea of what the possible range of outcomes is. And so in some cases, I'll tell people, yeah, you have a really good chance to settle here. Other cases, I'll tell people there is zero chance to settle. You should not hire me. And then in some cases, I'll say, here are some concerns that I have. There's no guarantees, but I'll do everything I can based on other arguments I've made successfully to successfully, give you the tools you need to negotiate a settlement and hopefully come out clean on the other side. So that's it. I know it's a little bit of a rant, but it does irk me when people say, I can't pay you, essentially saying you're not worth it, but I'd also like your advice, please. So if you're hemming and hawing about hiring me or someone like me, I think you just need to look at what is the downside of doing this by yourself and not succeeding. And then you have to weigh that against the potential cost of what it's going to cost to hire me. And then, you reach your own conclusion. So that's it. Thank you for listening. I have gotten so many clients and consultations since I've started doing these YouTube videos like a month ago. So thank you all very much. I really do appreciate all the business that's coming from it. I will continue to put videos out that will hopefully give people answers to questions that they search for on the internet but cannot find. And as a reminder, I do have a blog with over 200 articles, so I've really covered a lot of topics. If you don't want to read, I've got a podcast, the SBA Loan Default Podcast, which you can find on most platforms. And that covers a lot of the big stuff. And then finally, if you have an EIDL loan, I have a free audio course, and then I have a premium audio course. So I've got a lot of information out there, some free, some not. So check it out. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next time.